Our live episode with ABA Canada. Today, we're going to be talking about why numbers are sexy. And yes, they are. And the goal today is not to talk about margins or spreadsheets. It's to talk about the story the numbers tell us and what the numbers can enable us to do with our lives from there on. And our guest today, one amongst others, will be Caylee Augé, who will be leading the discussion, who I will bring in right now. Hi, Caylee. How are you
Hi.
in sunny British Columbia?
Oh, great. Thank you. Yeah, it's sunny now. It was raining earlier.
Canadian weather.
It keeps it green.
Exactly.
Thanks for having me on today.
Thanks for coming on. So today we're going to talk about numbers and how they're sexy, particularly with the Salon Profit Project.
Yeah.
Which you can tell us a bit about yourself and the project.
Okay, well, we'll start with the topic, why numbers are sexy. And numbers are sexy because they help you not get blindsided. And that makes them sexy because nobody wants to wake up to a $7,000 GST HST bill that they weren't expecting. Nobody wants to be so tied into their business, answering, putting out fires, answering to their team's concerns, spinning their wheels, just doing, right? Doing, done. Then they're just done after, because they have no idea what's going on in their company. And so that's why I think numbers are sexy, because they actually give you clarity and they help you get what you want. And what you really want is the opposite of everything I just said, right? What you really want is to be able to travel, to leave your company with no stress, leave somebody else in charge. What you really want is results. You want to get a paycheck, get paid for what you're doing, right? At least at a minimum, let's get you paid for what you're doing. And you want to be able to invest back into your team, right? So you want to reward the people that are working hard in your company. Why do you think numbers are sexy?
Well, I am a business background, so to me, numbers are just sexy because they tell me where to go, right?
Yeah.
I never do anything without checking the numbers. No matter how good you think your idea is, it might not be good depending on what you have in the bank account, what's been spent, where you're going. You always need to check back with your numbers. They're kind of like your doctor, like they're your sounding board. That's what 1 + 1 needs to equal 2, usually.
Yeah. Because they won't lie to you, right?
Hopefully. Exactly. And if 1 + 1 is not equaling 2, there's a problem somewhere, right? And you should probably go back and have a chat.
Well, and that's exactly what I love about it, because you can really count on that. You can count on, if they don't add up, that something's not right. And so, where so many things, especially in our world, in the artist world, it's just perspective. It's like, do you like it or do you not like it? What's your feeling about it? Whereas the numbers, it's like, no, it's not a feeling. It's just a matter of fact, whether your company is going to work for you, whether you're going to get the lifestyle that you want from that.
And there's nothing to like and not like. It's a number, right? So they are sexy, they're not scary, and they're your friends, and you should get to know them.
They're your friends, exactly. They are your friends. You should get to know your friends, right?
Right, always.
Exactly. So you asked me to introduce myself. So I'm Caylee Augé, and I am the creator of the Salon Profit Project, which is an online course that I help people fall in love with their numbers and get really great results. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, was just some of the results that people have gotten and what kind of results you as a listener could get in your business if you decide you're ready to fall in love with your numbers. So
that's super exciting. We're going to have some other salon owners coming on. And I also know Caylee from my previous life at L'Oreal. I visited her in BC. Her salon that she owns there is run fantastically. I've always taken notes from her. So I'm super excited. So if you can summarize it in 3 points, what would they learn in this course?
Oh, in the course, what did they learn? Well, they're going to learn where they are. Because the first step of getting anywhere that you want to go is to understand where you are. So you're going to know, the first few lessons are really just getting involved in where you are so that you have a really clear picture. Because a lot of people are just blind, they're operating their business blind, working on all the wrong strategies. Then what's really unique is they're going to find out where they're going. All of the other courses that I've taken in the industry over my journey to grow my business, nobody ever talked about a profit plan. They talked about how to read your P&L. They talk about all these different strategies, but nobody talked about a profit plan, which is actually looking ahead. So when you take the Salon Profit Project, and you do the work, right? You have to do the work. I can't do all the work for you. But we make it easy, at least. You would be able to see what number is going to be in your bank account a year from now. And that's powerful, because if that number is a negative, then we have a lot more work to do, and we're going to be making more drastic changes. If that's a number that you like, then we just have to stick to that profit plan. And then you're going to get like a whole bunch of strategies to grow your business and reduce your expenses. So that's what those are the 3 ways that, we really focus to help you, is to like identify where you are, clearly map out where you're going, and give you tools to how to get there.
Okay, sounds fairly simple. And why don't we introduce our 3 lovely guests?
Awesome.
We have first Michael from Brush Hair Salon, who is going to be adding on now. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Caylee.
Hey, Michael. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, of course.
We have Derek, who I just added on from Ivory Hair. And we have Michelle from Headway Salon. And these are all 3 individuals who have worked with Caylee. And they're here to share some experiences with you all, so you can see what you could be doing.
Awesome.
So I'll let Caylee take the direction here with the questioning.
Perfect. Well, first of all, I want to thank all of you, because I know how busy you are, for coming on to share that more people can enjoy the Profit Project and be able to make changes in their business. Now, I know Michael has a commitment and has a really short window with us, so I'm going to start with you, Michael, and everyone else can get an idea of the questions. And I think we'll speak, Michael, to kind of some of the awesome things you did during closure to set your company up for success. But let's start with what's one small change you made through kind of the work we've done together that made the biggest difference for you.
I feel like separating the cost of services and parts. Yeah.
That was huge, right?
That was a huge one for us. And I feel like that was something that we really needed to do in a business, just because we are such a color-focused salon, and the overhead with that is extremely expensive. But this wasn't working for us the way that we were doing it before, especially because we had so much waste with color. So we were incurring that expense as a business.
Yeah. So you were really able to get a handle on that wastage and how people are using it. Can you share a little bit deeper what you shared with me about like last year's numbers and how you relooked at them?
Yeah. So it was actually kind of crazy to see just some of the changes that we had from working together, to see what we were doing before versus what we're doing now. I feel like I have a lot more control over the business, and we are profiting now. We did have a period where we were at a loss for 2019, which is really scary for us as a business, because every year prior to that, we were always profiting. But I think with our expansion and not having enough control over the business, with having 2 locations, we ended up not profiting last year. So we need to sit and kind of bunker down and create more of a focus on what we're doing for the coming year. So
yeah, and just that one change would have made you profitable.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. If that one change, we would have been fine.
Yeah.
So the numbers helped get you where you're going, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm
awesome.
Extremely grateful to have Caylee as a business coach. She's helped me so much.
Aw, thank you. Okay, this one's a little bit of a different spin on it. What was the hardest change that you made, and what was the outcome?
I think stepping away from doing hair. Yeah. That was the hardest one for me, just because I love doing hair and I'm a creative person. So stepping away from doing hair was something, it's a very personal experience, because I have those relationships with my clients and it was hard to let go. But I do find that stepping away, I feel a lot more clear-minded, and I feel like I have more focus and control over what I'm doing. I feel less stressed. I feel happier. So
you feel happier. Well, that's a big win.
So I feel not that I didn't like doing hair. It was just juggling both with too much, with 2 locations, being behind the chair part-time, running the business. It was a little bit overwhelming with having so many hats within the business.
Yeah. And you did it so gracefully, and you really, you really ripped the Band-Aid off and just did it, right? So what would you say to all owners that have thought about doing that because they know they're just wearing too many hats, but they're scared that it will financially negatively impact their business, or they're just scared of the client's reaction? What can you tell them about your experience?
I think just being really transparent with people. I found for me, doing a blanket statement, that's what I did over at Instagram, was the easiest way to let people know, because at least I put that information out there. And I could articulate in the way that I wanted to, because I find I'm better in writing than I am speaking in person or on camera.
Well, you're doing great.
What's that?
You're doing great right now.
So I feel writing that information and letting people know was easier for me. And then once I had that out there, I could call each individual client to let them know. I wanted to personally speak to them as well. I didn't just want to pass it off onto a front end, because I feel like they deserve to hear from me. They're people that have been seeing me for 10 plus years. So I'd like to talk to them myself. And then setting them up with a stylist that you think would be most suited for them. So they're going to be taken care of while you're not doing hair.
Yeah. And how did it impact you financially?
I feel like it's been beneficial for me because I have more time to focus on the business and knowing what I'm spending, what we're using. I feel like I'm more aware of everything going on in the business, whereas before I felt I had a blindfold on essentially, and I didn't know exactly what was happening because I was so busy doing hair that I didn't notice a lot of these things that we were overspending on. So I feel like it's really important to be involved in your business and to focus on that.
Awesome. Great. Okay. My final question is, how has your energy shifted since you've implemented some of these structures? So you mentioned happier.
Yeah, I just feel better, to be honest. I have more energy. I have a back issue as well. So doing hair for me was like physically difficult because I'm really tall. I'm 6'4" and I have bad posture. I come over a lot. So that alone, I feel a lot better, just physically and mentally as well. I just feel like I have more time to focus on the business now. And I feel like I have more time to work with our team to help them better their business within the salon.
Awesome. So you think numbers are sexy?
Yeah, definitely.
Mission accomplished. Well, I know you have to run, Michael, so thank you so much for your time. And then we're going to ask the same questions to Michelle and Derek here. So
thank you, Michael.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
So
thank you so much.
So we can hear from. Oh, go ahead, Derek or Xander.
Well, I was just going to say, why don't we do a little like a panel here, so we can ask Michelle and Derek what they think, and we can have a little discussion.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
More relaxed now. There's more time.
Exactly. Awesome. I was thinking the same thing. So let's start with Derek. Why don't you just introduce yourself first and say a little bit about your salon and your role in the salon? Because Michael talked about stepping away from the chair, but you are behind the chair. So you come from a different perspective.
Yeah. My name is Derek. I've owned a salon for 6 years now, I think. I have a business partner, Scott, as well. We both do hair behind the chair full time. We both run the business. So for us, we're pretty busy. We both have families. He's got 3 kids. I got 2. They're young, so we're in the thick of it right now. And we both love doing hair, so it's hard to step away from that. But we both are. We've grown to be even more passionate about our business now as we've gotten more comfortable by working with Caylee. So I think. I've always wanted to run a business. That was a goal right from the start of hair school. I wanted to own a salon one day, and I gave myself a certain amount of years to do so. And when I bought in with a different business partner a few years ago, it was going in the right direction and things were going great. But it's just like you just miss so many things along the way that it's just hard to juggle always between. I started educating as well for a company, KMS. So it's just like there's 3 things then, and just like it's hard to have everything in so many different baskets. It's definitely easier to focus, and we have to call upon people like Caylee to sometimes help us with the business part. I can focus on the hair part and other things. So I guess that's me for the most part. And it's been great to see these last few months where we've kind of taken things from and where we're going to go hopefully as well. So,
awesome. I love that. And Derek's up in Salmon Arm, and you're really the industry leader there. I would say it's you're just plowing the way for the rest of the.
we're trying our best. Yeah, we're a small town. Like it's I think 30,000 maybe here, small city. So we're trying. It's arguable, but I mean, we're one that's definitely looked after. For our industry in our city and stuff like that, and trying to be leaders, trying to be good examples, and our goal for the most part really is just we want to see as professionals. We want the hair industry as a whole to just be seen as we're not just high school dropouts. It's a great career for great people, and you can make good money doing it if you do the right things and you work hard and you're passionate about it. So
awesome, I love that.
Even in a small town.
I love it. Yes. Even in a small town, that's a
Yeah.
big thing to point out, because that can be a limiting belief for a lot of people, right? They're like, well, you're in the city, or I can't do that because, we don't have the right people.
A lot of good salons are in small towns.
Yeah.
And small towns, right? So anyone can have a good salon. Just listen to your neighbors.
Totally. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, let's get an intro from Michelle.
Hello, my name is Michelle, and I own 2 salons, Headways, in Burnaby, BC, and Langley, BC. And I've been in the industry since I was like 13 and on the floor at 17, and I love this industry. So I've always wanted to own my own salon. The first salon I opened was probably in 2000, probably around maybe just the end of the 90s. And it didn't go as well for me because I was more into the artistic part of it, and everything had to be pretty, and I was not into numbers at all. So the second salon, learned a lot. I've been with Caylee now for a few years, and we've had our shop for 9. And Caylee's really gotten me to like the numbers, kind of.
Only like, come on, Michelle. There's no love in there yet.
She forces. You better like them.
You must love your numbers.
Well, I'm getting there. I have to. 100%. You're right. I've learned so much through Caylee, and it does get me excited. I will say that I've learned a lot, and I'm passing it on to other people, which has been nice for me to be able to do at other friends and other salon owners. But definitely my numbers, I've learned a lot of things. Like you were asking, what are some of the small things? I remember you said to me, where is your money? And you probably, if you were to dig into, you would probably find money you didn't even know you had. And I did. So I looked, and I got my phone bill down to half. I got my Visa down. I got my suppliers to give me 10% off. I found money that I didn't know I had because Caylee suggested all these things to me, which really, that's a small thing, but it honestly, even Moneris gave me a better deal. And that honestly helped at the end of the month. For sure. Definitely.
Do you do hair behind the chair as well, Michelle?
I've
Just run the
slowly been
business.
fading myself out because I've always heard that if you're going to be an owner, you are going to be better if you work on the business than in the business. So right now I do hair in Langley. I'm just dropping to 1 day now, and I don't do hair in Burnaby unless I'm teaching.
Cool.
And I really do enjoy it. I like it a lot. Like I love watching everyone grow. If they need help, for sure, I'm going to get behind the chair. But definitely it is better, as Caylee said, to be behind my desk and watching my business and helping my staff grow with education on the other side.
Yeah. Nice. And both are possible, right? I think when you're getting like, Michael from Brush is 2 locations, Michelle's 2 locations. I think when you're starting to scale on that level, you definitely need to be wearing that business hat. But if you're a smaller boutique salon, it is, I love doing hair. I just wanted to grow bigger and do other things, but I still miss that interaction with the client every day and the artistic outlet. So, it's not something you have to give up, but you'll definitely see your business grow if you keep the business hat on at least a few hours a week, right?
Oh, yeah. No, it's hard. It is.
Said it like that.
It is hard to do both, for sure. I mean, it's tough when you like both so much too, to kind of know where to be doing it and stuff. But it's that's great.
Cool. Xander, do you have any questions for them before I jump into the?
Well, I was just gonna talk about that. I guess it's kind of a balancing act, right? You need your business to run so you can be the artist you want to be in, and I guess it's working within your means to figure out, okay, how can I be an artist and still be a business person, right? And that doesn't mean just doing hair behind the chair, right? You have other options, like Michelle is educating, right? You could be doing shows, you could be doing editorials, right? There's more than.
I'm constantly, setting up education for people. walking around the salon, making sure everything is where I think the standard should be. If they need help, I've got to go help them. I have always told myself I'm the best assistant you ever had.
There's no shortage of finding things to do. That's for sure. I mean, you're not doing hair. As soon as I have a cancellation, it's like, shoot, I got a chance to do something. And it's like, there's always stuff to do. Always.
Yeah. I think it's a matter of growth, right? Are you growing in your role? And for me, when I was behind the chair, I was loving it, but I could do it with my eyes closed. And, I was like, this is not going to take me to the next level. And that's when I realized, I wanted to let that piece go, not because there's a saying by John Maxwell, you have to give up the good to get to the great. And so that was me giving up the good to get to the great, but everybody's on a different journey. And so if you have that kind of nagging voice being like, maybe your business would grow if you weren't behind the chair, it might be your time. But if you're like, no, I love this, then you might just need to delegate some of the business activities a bit more efficiently so that you can be free to do that, but make sure you got the business covered at the same time. So Derek, what's one of the small things you did that really made a big difference?
I feel like we didn't do anything small. We just did a bunch of stuff. It was I was trying to think of it. I Scott this morning too. I was like, man, what's a small thing? But really, we changed so much. We changed pay scale. We added salon scale. So separating parts of service was what I was going to say. But then Michael had mentioned that. I mean, I think that's a major.
Mention it.
If every salon did it, then it wouldn't feel like right now. What I find, I think we're the only salon in our city that does do it in our little town, and so we seem quite inflated, and we were already expensive in the first place, and we of course couldn't cut back the employees' rates to have this added color cost on top of it. So the only people that it comes from the clients end, right? And so they understand it, and it's nice because they can spend less with their color if they're getting smaller jobs. But now we're at least the business is being covered properly, the stylist is still covered properly. It comes out of the client's pocket, and that was really hard for us to, I think, swallow that and just be comfortable asking that of the clients. But again, if every salon just did that and it was just normal across the board, then they'd have no one else to go to and it wouldn't feel so bad. But that's what the toughest thing I find in our town is shoot, no one else does it but us. So we seem like people aren't used to it yet here, and it's it seems odd, but when you explain it to the clients, they do understand it. It makes sense. And I think we'll only see more and more salons go on to this, and it'll be really nice because then no one's being a cheaper price than in a way for that you just go anywhere, you're expect to pay for the color usage on top of it. And it was really eye-opening, I think, for us, the stylists as well, to know how much it really costs. And then the clients also, I mean, it's there's average of $40-$50 color expenses on top of the service now for big jobs, and it's they thought $10 or something like that. It's crazy, right? So it's good for everyone to see that, and it's being transparent, and you can see how now it's possible for salons to keep progressing in this industry and not just keep falling behind with how things used to be. So.
Oh my God. I love that you said that. And I love that you're kind of challenging other owners to follow, right? Because
well, I just don't want to be the only one. But I mean, it works. And again, if everyone just did it, if you don't go to a single, you always mention the mechanic thing, being the same. If you don't go to a single mechanic out there that doesn't separate the oil from the oil change. And so if every salon just did that, then we're all the same standard. No one's undercutting the other person, and then clients don't have a choice. It's just what it is, right? So yeah.
It's also when you explain to your clients, why you're costing it out, they understand it because that's how every other business operates, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like you're asking them for something unmeasurable and unforeseen. It's okay, that makes sense. Sure, I understand.
I think the hardest part, I think, is just that initial bringing it on board for the first time. If you're not going to reduce service costs, it's quite inflated, right? If a color says $300 already in the first place, and now there's an extra $50-$60 on top of the product, that's a big difference. And so delivering that to the client is very interesting, of course, but it's necessary. They understand it. And I mean, it's just, I think just having the conversation alone brings a level of professionalism to the stylist, and that in itself just shows you're paying more for that, but just the conversation is covering that cost. it just shows you know what you're doing, you know what you're talking about. There's a reason why this business is still growing, and not going the opposite. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, you've done such an awesome job implementing it, and you are an industry leader, and I hope other salons do follow suit. If they don't, they might be closing their doors, right? There may be less competition out there. So that's just the reality of where salons are at right now. So I hope they hear your message, Derek. So Michelle, what's one of the hardest changes that you made in your salon, and what was the outcome?
Getting to know my, for sure. So setting time out to actually sit at my desk, pay attention to what was coming in, what was leaving, going through the statements properly. Also, having a relationship with my bookkeeper and our daily statements and whatnot. And when she does our financials, having everything written out properly. Because I'd get my statements and I didn't really know, like, well, where was my color cost, and where I didn't really know where everything was. Now it's awesome. I go through, how much did I spend on nails? Oh, bam, there we go. Oh, what did I do in color? What was my retail? What did I put into retail? Like, everything's there now, and I really like that. And I had to hold her accountable too. Like, sometimes she makes mistakes. Like the other day, my retail was showing that, we did 8,000 for the month, but it said my cost was $80.
You're like, that doesn't make sense.
I think something's wrong. But at least I found it, and it was just a mistake, and she fixed it. So I wouldn't have known that if I wasn't playing with, now of course things look a little bit different at the end. So
well, salon owners are relying so heavily on their bookkeepers, and we find mistakes all the time, right? Derek, I think we found some mistakes in there too, in the bookkeeping, right?
Yeah, we will find some later this afternoon, I'm sure too.
I know. We got a call at 2:00, and I've got some balance sheet items we're gonna chat about.
Bookkeepers make mistakes like humans, right?
When you're not looking, like we never had even looked at we didn't even know what a P&L sheet was till we had done the class with you, Caylee, like 4 years ago. I think it was 5 years ago. And then even like since that class, we rarely looked at it. Year end, we'd sit with our accountant, look at our numbers, and okay, I guess that's why we always just ran things by feel, but you have no clue at all what's happening then that whole time. I mean, like, yeah, obviously you can look at your bank account, if it's going negative, there's a problem, but for the most part, like, if you don't know what you're spending, where you're going, what you're doing, it's just you're going blind for sure.
And Michelle, if I may, you mentioned something very interesting. You had a good relationship with your bookkeeper, right? So you taught them how you want your numbers, right?
Yes.
Like, I need to see this. I need to see this. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't know. They have a lot of clients, and each client has a different need, different industry. They're bookkeepers, right? They'll output what you want them to output, right? So the more input you give, you see better results, right? And how long did that take?
Caylee, she's given me, the information that I can pass on to my bookkeeper. That really helped a lot, because some things she was like, well, I'm not sure what you want me to do with this. And then I wasn't sure. So, Caylee, you kind of helped me with that too. So yeah. And now it's awesome. Like, I go through it and it's like, oh, like I said, I'm finding mistakes now, where before I would have just looked at the bottom. Oh, okay, we made a profit. If it was red, I'd be like, holy shit.
No.
Yeah. Oh, that's so great to hear. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
What were you going to say, Derek?
Oh, no, I'm just agreeing with her. Yeah, like sometimes it's tough, like with bookkeepers, because that's the numbers has been the hardest part for me to understand. And it's like, when you're like, Caylee, you know what you need to be like, and the bookkeeper knows how to be a bookkeeper. But for us as the owners, that middleman job, it's like, I just got to put Caylee on the phone with the bookkeeper almost, kind of thing. It's just like, I don't know. I tried to explain, and because the bookkeeper will have one thing like, oh, it has to be like this. And it's like, no, you tell them what it has to be. And it's interesting. But yeah, again, it goes back to you got to know that stuff. I mean, you're running a business. It has to, you have to know what's going on there. So.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. Well, yeah, we've had some fun conversations, haven't we?
Oh, yeah. It's good. It's good. It's always good.
Oh, that's good. So how would you say, Michelle, first of all, how has your energy shifted since putting some more structure and understanding into your business?
Well, I took 5 weeks off this year.
Wow, 5 weeks.
Wow.
So
Like
I think
off,
that's
off.
pretty good. And yeah, I think I think I just feel better because sorry, my gardener's here. I don't know if you guys can hear that. In the
No,
background.
you're good.
I think just my energy has shifted because I understand what I'm looking at. Like now I love going on the computer and pulling up the stats. I like to see, okay, this stylist, her strong suit is foiling. This one's balayage. This one's cutting. Okay, where's she making her money? For me to go to her and say, this is what your strengths are. This is where they're impressed. Well, that's because I learned how to do all of that too, right? And it inspires them. And then it gets me excited because now I know, okay, now I know where I need to help them. Or if like some of our girls, they're growing, where our goal is, like you said, to be that $1 million. I'm going there. I'm shooting for it. I've got a couple of my girls are pretty close to that 100K. I'm going there. And now they don't do men's haircuts. They're not doing kids anymore because it makes room. And now the assistants will do that, or not the assistants, but the juniors or the stylists underneath. Like I'm learning strategies to make those numbers work.
Awesome. And they're overflowing onto the new people too, right?
Yeah.
That's one of,
So
that's one
everybody
thing that
grows.
I always was so passionate about growth, is that if you stay the same, you're the lid on the potential of your company. And so by you growing, you get to do new exciting roles, and then you get to give new opportunities to your people, which keeps everybody engaged and exciting, right? If you're not growing, you're essentially dying and going backwards, and then nobody's motivated.
And really, for me to go to like your classes, my staff, they don't know that I'm going to your classes, but I look professional. I have the information. They just think I just showed up like this. You know what I mean? But like them, they need help with things. Same as like I said to you when I first met you, I didn't have a mentor. I never have had a mentor. It's just always been me figuring things out. And to have someone like you, that you are my mentor now, that I would look to and get advice, and I appreciate it. And it's honestly been pretty great.
That's awesome.
And now the new class I'm going in with you, I'm just so excited about that one.
Yeah. And I love that you're being a mentor to others, because I always see Michelle on just like encouraging other people. And she's the first in the group to offer support to our other newer team members too. So I'm really grateful for that to you, Michelle. Xander, do you have some other questions for them that have come up while you hear them talking?
I think they've covered it amazingly. Like knowing your numbers just transforms your life. It could be as simple as a small change or changing everything you want to change, with like in Derek's case, but it's vital to existing, right? You know your personal finances, you know how much is in your savings, how much is in your checking account, how much you're spending. Well, hopefully, right? Hopefully.
Getting there.
You should do the same for your salon, right? It's an extension of you. Like it's your dependent and you're dependent on it, right? So you need to know each other very well, and the doctor is the accountant.
Yeah, exactly.
Make sure you have scheduled checkups.
COVID. I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
If we weren't set up properly, we would have been in a lot of trouble.
Mm.
You know, we would have been in a lot of trouble. So I feel that taking that class also helped me, because I wasn't spending money. And like I used to be that person who would look at the numbers and be like, my bank account, oh yeah, that looks so good. And then one day you said, well, how much is your visa? What's on your visa? And how much do you have sitting that you owe in holiday pay? And I remember thinking, shit, I don't know. Okay, yeah, you're right. So I went to my office that day, and it was like, oh, I don't have as much money in my account as I thought.
Yeah.
So, you know, I cleared up all of that stuff, got that organized. And then going through COVID, I know a lot of people were really scared and freaked out. I took it as an opportunity, and I was okay because I knew where I was standing.
Oh, I love that.
I think that helps too.
Oh, I love that. Thank you, Michelle. So I'd love to close on, if you just could tell, so if someone's on the fence, but they're like, no, I don't know tech, I don't know numbers, I'm just an artist. Like Derek, you said, right? Like that beauty school dropout, like if that's the way they see themselves, but they're thinking like, maybe I need to do something different. What would your last kind of thing be to tell them?
I think you just laid out so simple and easy. Like every class or during the course is just like it's so easy to do. It's just done for you. You just got to put in your numbers basically, and the coaching's there. So it's just like you'll never you won't go backwards from something like this. Like it's only going to put you forward. You might think, oh, it costs money or this or that, but I mean, like it's that little bit of investment is going to be so huge, and it's just going to be eye opening, and like
it's an investment.
You'll never regret it. It's like the best thing we've ever done. 100%.
Oh, you're so sweet. Awesome.
Yeah.
And how about you, Michelle?
I'd say the same thing. I've taken it as an investment, and I do believe you have to spend money to make money.
Mm-hmm.
And I have done that with you, and I'm still, I just hired a social media girl. I didn't want to spend the money, but I'm spending it, and it's taken off again for me. So yes, I think if someone's kind of thinking about it, honestly, it's worth it. If you want to grow and you need help, all the tools are you just email us everything we need.
It's so easy. It's awesome.
It's so nice to have the support. Because again, as an owner, you don't have the support. We support everybody, but no one supports us. So it's kind of nice to have that.
Oh, exactly. Well, that's my vision. Hearing your words is like my vision come to life. So I just really appreciate you saying that. Xander, what do you have to say to all the ABA viewers, members watching?
Well, I have a business background, I have a science background, and I also have a finance background. And it's all numbers in my head. I love numbers. Like that's how I've done any business I've been in. I've been in more than just beauty. And anytime I get lost, I go look at the numbers because they'll lead you somewhere. And just like Michelle and Derek said, once you're comfortable with them, looking at them, it's not scary. It's actually like reading a magazine. You're flipping the pages and going, oh, that's interesting, until something jumps and you go, wow, I should look into that. So just if you don't know your numbers or you don't know how to look at them, give Caylee a call. She will make it super easy. I've worked with her before. And like Derek said, she makes it super simple. And she understands salons and spas and knows our industry well. So you're dealing with someone who is you, right? Essentially, has been where you are, and
I've been there.
Been where you're gonna go. So great
awesome
to chat with.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for all of our viewers, and thank you for coming on today. And just come join us. You've heard, the results that you can get can be you. And we're having lots of fun elevating the industry, right?
You have a free tool?
I've got a free tool. Catherine put it up there. Awesome. So this is a really good place to start. You can download this and pop your retail. You only have to put in 2 numbers. You put in your service sales, your retail sales. It's going to automatically give you a budget. It's not your perfect personalized budget. You'll get that in the course, but this is a great place to start to just kind of see where you are right now. So you can go ahead and download that. Thanks for bringing that up there.
Do that, and that could be your first step, and then give Caylee a call.
Awesome. Thanks so much, everyone. We'll see you soon.
Thanks so much, you guys.
I'll see you later, Derek. See you too. Bye, Derek. Bye, Michelle. Thanks.
See you later.